Nepal is a surprisingly diverse country that attracts visitors for many reasons. Some are lured by the call of the mountains and seeking to climb or trek in the Himalayas. Others are intrigued by the culture and the famous city of Kathmandu. And yet others come hoping to find some sort of spiritual awakening. Nepal can be an adrenaline adventure, a cultural eye-opener, a life-changing experience, or all of the above. Most travellers spend some time in Kathmandu, visiting sacred and historic attractions, and then head out to other parts of the country. Some of the best places to visit outside the capital are Chitwan National Park and Bardiya National Park for wildlife viewing, and the lakeside town of Pokhara, a popular area for embarking on treks. Trekkers will find a variety of options across Nepal, with the most important areas being the Everest, Annapurna and Langtang regions. In 2015, a major earthquake struck Nepal, causing severe damage in Kathmandu and other areas, and restoration is still underway. In Nepal, things take time to happen, and when they do, they tend to happen unevenly, so progress has been substantial in some areas and, limited in others. That said, much of the damage to the major sites has been repaired, although some historical treasures were lost forever. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 rated tourist attractions in Nepal. And just wait till you see the number one that we're going to be showing in this video, something you would never even have thought of, so make sure you watch till the end. Now, before we begin, you can help support our channel by becoming a member of this channel. Press the join button below. This will help us to bring you more awesome travel videos. So now, if you're ready, let's cut to the chase. At number 10, Bardiya National Park. Many people are surprised to learn that Nepal has extensive lowland areas where Bengal tigers, rhinos, crocodiles and elephants roam. One of the best spots to see these animals in their natural habitat is Bardiya National Park. In addition to the large animals, the park is also a bird-watching hotspot, that's the feathered variety, with over 400 species either living in or transiting through the region. Located off on its own in northwest Nepal near the border of India, this area is known for its river valleys, extensive grasslands and tropical forest dominated by the sal tree. Areas of the national park were once the exclusive hunting domain of Nepali royalty. Through the years, it has been expanded and now encompasses 968 square kilometers. At 9, Everest and the trek to base camp. The summit of Mount Everest, the highest mountain on Earth, reaches 8,848 meters high. Trekking in the Mount Everest area became popular following the now legendary first ascent of the peak in 1953, all those years ago, by Edmund Hillary from New Zealand and the Sherpa Tenzing Norgay. Since that time, many more have summited the mountain, but far more trek the route to Everest Base Camp simply for a glimpse of the peak far above. In recent years, the mountain has seen its fair share of tragedy and drama. The 2015 earthquake and previous avalanches, along with disputes between climbers on the mountain, have left their mark on Everest trekking and climbing. The Everest region is generally not regarded as the most scenic region in the country for trekking, but the allure of Everest makes it a popular destination, both for climbers and trekkers. There are various routes to access base camp and several options for organizing a trip. Many trekking companies offer a guided hike, either with Nepalese companies or Western-based companies. It's also possible to hire a private guide or porter and do it yourself. However, all trekkers are technically required to have a guide. The main hiking seasons are in the spring and fall, from March to May and September to December. For those not looking to trek to Mount Everest but still wanting to see the mountain, it is possible to see it on clear days from the hill town of Nagarkot near Kathmandu. Hotel staff will knock on guests' doors on clear mornings if Everest is visible. Hopefully they won't be sleeping. This might be the lazy traveller's best chance of seeing the world's highest peak. At 8, Swayambhunath, Monkey's Temple. Set on a hilltop to the west of Kathmandu, Swayambhunath is the second most important shrine in the Kathmandu Valley after Boudhanath. Due to the resident monkeys that inhabit parts of the temple, it is more affectionately known as the Monkey Temple. The Swayambhu Stupa, painted with the eyes of the omnipresent god, forms the centerpiece of the temple complex. It was originally a prehistoric cult site, but the temple complex dates to the 5th century. Swayambhu plays a major part in the lives of the Vajrayana Buddhists of northern Nepal and Tibet, but especially of the Newari Buddhists of the Kathmandu Valley. The 2015 earthquake caused some damage to the Swayambhunath temple complex. However, repairs are now complete and the temple is back to its original condition. At 7, Trekking in the Langtang region. The Langtang region, home to the Langtang National Park, is an incredible area for hiking, with high passes, extensive views, old monasteries and beautiful mountain scenery. Rhododendron forests bloom during the spring hiking season, adding colour to the vistas. The region, home to the Sherpa people, is less developed than some of the other popular trekking areas in Nepal and generally, less busy on the trails, despite its close proximity to Kathmandu. Villages with guest houses and food can be found along the route, although somewhat more spread out than in other trekking regions. This area can be reached easily from Kathmandu by jeep in 7 to 8 hours. On a clear day, the peak of Langtang Lirung, at only 7,245 metres, which dominates the surrounding area of the same name, is visible from Kathmandu. Trekking lengths and duration in Langtang range from a few days to a couple of weeks, depending on the routing, and if you get lost. Some trekkers combine Helambu and Langtang for a longer trek, as if you need to have one that's longer. Next up, at 6, it's Chitwan National Park. Chitwan National Park is the place to come to experience a different side of Nepal. This is a wonderful place for wildlife viewing, and it has a safari-type atmosphere. At an altitude of only 100 metres in some areas, much lower than Kathmandu at 1400 metres, Chitwan has a tropical monsoon climate, quite different than what you'd expect to find in Nepal. Travellers come here to see, wildlife. The park is home to rhinos, Bengal tigers, leopards, sloth bears, gaur or buffalo, deer and many other critters. Freshwater dolphins, gangetic and crocodiles inhabit the rivers and streams but are rarely seen. More than 500 species of birds make Chitwan a paradise for ornithologists. Tours from the lodges take you out into the park, either on foot or more often on elephants for close-up views of the animals, including elephants. Chitwan lies southwest of Kathmandu, close to the Indian frontier, and is included in the UNESCO list of World Cultural Heritage Sites. The best time to visit Chitwan is from October to February. Average temperatures hover around 25 degrees Celsius with high humidity, although the mornings can be quite cool. June to September is the monsoon season with frequent and heavy rain. In at 5, trekking in the Annapurna region. The Annapurna region is one of the most popular trekking regions in Nepal, with options that range from a few days to a few weeks. 3 main routes in the Annapurna region intersect and combine in places, and you can opt to do a portion or a variation on the routes. The routes are well marked and, easy to follow. The Annapurna circuit around Annapurna Mountain takes about 21 days to complete and is incredibly popular with people who have enough time to waste. This route is sometimes called the Apple Pie Circuit, in reference to the fact that most of the tea houses along the route serve their own version of fried apple pie. A popular hiking destination in this region, often offered in hiking packages in combination with the Annapurna circuit, is the trek to Poon Hill at 3,210 metres near Gorepani. Most hikers try to be on Poon Hill early to see sunrise and a stunning view of Dhulagiri, Annapurna South, Makapuchere and Singachuli. The Annapurna Sanctuary nestles between the peaks of Annapurna and takes 5 days to reach. Boudhnath is on the way to Annapurna but has since become a destination in its own right. The Boudhnath route runs in the Kali Gandaki Valley on the east flank of Annapurna and takes 7 days. Oh, is that all? North of Boudhnath is Mustang, a small region that was only opened up to tourists in 1992. This area has its own fascinating culture. In many regards, the Annapurna region north of Pokhara is an ideal walking area. The dramatic contrasts of the Nepalese countryside are especially visible from the subtropical vegetation of the Pokhara Valley to the dry rain shadow area, with features of the Tibetan Plateau. The people and cultures are also very different. Facial characteristics, food, houses, lifestyles, customs and religion, and laughing at tourists. The Annapurna region was declared a protected area in 1986. Most importantly, it has a good infrastructure to support the many trekkers that come through this area. The paths are well maintained and food and lodging are plentiful. At 4, it's Pokhara. Set at the base of the foothills and surrounded by some of the highest mountains in the world, Dhaulagiri, Manaslu and Annapurna 1, Pokhara is one of Nepal's most scenic cities. For trekkers, Pokhara is the gateway to the Himalayas and the starting point for treks to Jomsom and the Annapurna region. It's also a wonderful spot to relax for a bit, either before or after a hiking trip. By population, it is the second largest city in Nepal after Kathmandu, but still does not feel like a big city. As you travel from Kathmandu 200 kilometers to the east, you'll notice the much cleaner air and pleasant climate almost immediately. Lake Pure, with its cluster of lakeside hotels, restaurants and shops, is ideal for those looking for a little relaxation. At 3, Boudhanath Stupa, or Bodhnath. The Bodhnath Stupa, just outside Kathmandu, is one of the largest stupas of its kind in the world and dates to sometime around the 6th century, possibly even earlier. Like Bhaktapur, it lies on the old trade route to Tibet and is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The stupa itself is a symbol of enlightenment, but at Boudhanath, the symbolism is particularly clear. Each different shape represents one of the 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air and sphere, which are also the attributes of the 5 Buddhas. Brought together in the form of the stupa, their unity reflects in abstract fashion the structure of the universe itself. The stupa sustained minor damage during the 2015 earthquake and is now fully repaired. At 2, Bhaktapur. Bhaktapur, the third of the royal cities, lies on the old trade route to Tibet, just outside of Kathmandu. For Bhaktapur, the trade route was both an arterial link and major source of wealth. Its relative remoteness at the time allowed the city to develop independently and in ways which distinguish it from the other 2 cities. In contrast to Patan and Kathmandu, the population of Bhaktapur is primarily Hindu. The best place from which to begin a tour of the city is Durbar Square, where in addition to the royal palace, several temples are also situated. The whole area is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Many of the buildings in Durbar Square in Bhaktapur were damaged in the 2015 earthquake. The main temples are close to being repaired fully. However, other buildings in the complex remain in ruin. The UNESCO-funded restoration work came to a stop in 2019 and the agency had to withdraw due to the threats against its workers. The project has been turned over to the Nepali Department of Archaeology. Restoration work continues, albeit very slowly. And finally, at number 1, you might have guessed it, Kathmandu. Kathmandu, the capital and largest city in Nepal, is like no other city in the world. The decaying buildings in the heart of the city are a stark contrast to the lively atmosphere that permeates the streets. The smell of incense wafts from stores while street sellers push their goods and people go about their daily lives, all against a backdrop of historic temples and carved statues. For several hundred years, Kathmandu was one of 3 rival royal cities, along with Bhaktapur and Patan. Situated in close proximity to each other, today these 3 almost run together. The highlight of Kathmandu has long been Durbar Square, the largest of the palace squares in the 3 royal cities and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Temples and monuments of varying shapes, sizes, styles and faiths can be found here. Kathmandu's Durbar Square was severely damaged in the 2015 earthquake, with many buildings destroyed beyond repair, but it still remains a special place to visit. And there you have the top 10 rated tourist attractions in Nepal. Did you like what you saw? Let us know in the comments down below. Share this video with your travelling friends and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more fantastic travel guides. See you next time, travellers.